So a lady writes into the Telegraph, right? She's looking for some help, some advice with her finances. And her question is picked up by two financial experts. And these financial experts, in my opinion, proceed to give her the most generic financial advice ever, like stuff that you've heard 100 times before, common sense, all the while completely missing one of the biggest admissions in the question's submission, right? The thing that the client actually said. And I want to talk about this because I can guarantee you, if you're watching this right now, or maybe not even watching this, you'll be able to relate because this one thing is common with everybody, every man, woman, and child in the country. So, this is the headline. Help, I'm 35, earn £25,000, and I've lost control of my spending. I mean, how familiar is that to many people watching this? And if it is familiar to you, comment or just smash the like button to let me know, right? Now, it gives a little bit of context around the situation. It kind of describes her as, this is a common thing amongst younger people. Now, for her specifically, she has Amazon Prime, Netflix, she has a Tidal Music membership, she has a few Substacks, she has an online newsletter platform racking up a monthly cost of around £50 a month. And on top of that, she spends 65 quid on Pilates classes. Now, for many people looking at this high level, you'll think Pilates, that's got to go, love. I don't necessarily go along that side because oftentimes it's not as simple as attacking one specific thing. You have to have a system around this, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But here is the biggest admission and the biggest kind of eye-opening insight that these financial experts completely skipped over, right? It says here, and these are her own words. At the moment, I'm just looking to start saving because I know I don't have any savings. And this is going to be something that, again, will resonate with a lot of people watching or not watching this. I'm spending to the point where I don't know where it's going. I do shop impulsively as well. She says, I bought a coat back in the Boxing Day sales, and it was one of those things where I was thinking, can I actually afford this? Now, before I jump into my thoughts and the big, I guess, elephant in the room in what she said here, let's just go and have a look at the advice these experts have given, shall we? So let's go all the way down here. Now, this is from a head of financial advice at JP Morgan.
In the short term, Ahmed should focus on building strong savings habits and establishing an emergency fund to provide a buffer against any drop in income or change in circumstances.
I mean, no fucking shit, right?
For those in this situation, start by conducting a review of your finances and monthly outgoings. Then build a realistic monthly budget which factors in your income and regular spending. If your monthly budget is tight, you should focus your spending on needs rather than wants and look for areas where you can cut back or get a better deal.
Seriously? Let's go to the second person. And to be fair, he does give some really, really good stuff. And he does kind of pick up on this, if I'm completely fair, okay? This guy's a chartered financial planner, which is probably where he has a little bit more of an analytical kind of like mind to this. So he says,
Ahmed needs to start any process by drawing up a budget and analysing where her spending is going every month. If she is unsure where to start,
and this is the good bit,
Monzo offers a categorization feature where you can sort the transactions and see what the total spend each month amounts to.
Fantastic practical advice. He then goes on to say,
once she has that, she needs to work out which of her bills are necessities. This will include her rent, council tax, utilities, and food. Then she will know what, if any, is left over to save or spend on discretionary items such as her subscriptions. If there is no leftover money at the end of the month, her subscriptions would need to be cancelled to ensure that her cost can be met.
I mean, again, no shit, right? I mean, this is some of the most generic stuff ever. Now, granted, you can't really, you're limited to what you can do within a newspaper and obviously word count and so on and so forth. But here's the thing that I think they've completely glazed over, and the eagle-eyed of you will know where I'm going. She said herself that she spends impulsively. And the reason why this is so important is because this is not a money problem. This is a system problem. And the system problem needs to be applied to not the money itself. It needs to be applied to the psychological area, how we interact to make financial decisions. Now, generally speaking, there are 5 money personalities, okay? true to everyone, and you're going to have a dominant and maybe one that sits under dominant, but everyone has a dominant money personality. There are five. So you're either an avoider, you don't like looking at your money at all. I'm guessing you'll be able to relate. If you have credit cards, overdrafts, that type of stuff, you don't want to look at that statement. You don't want to have a look at the overdraft on your account, right? Because it's not pleasant to see. Then you have someone who may be a planner, and a planner to the point where you want to have the perfect plan in place so that you know that you put your best foot forward and you know that, okay, this should work. But with that, if it's not perfect, you don't do anything. Then, worse than a planner, you then have an overthinker where you're constantly looking at information. You want as much information as possible to help you make a decision, but you get to a point where you've consumed so much information, you just don't even know what to do anymore. You then become confused. Then you have a cautioneer, or someone who likes to be cautious, basically. You don't want to extend, you don't want to take too much risk. After all, this is your money, right? So you want to make sure that you're being as safe as possible. And then you have the spender, which, by the way, if you read my book, I'm a spender. I am a big time spender, caused me no end of issues because for me, it was about childhood, first memories, first things that I learned about money, and that manifested in how I spent money. Now, this person in this article is a spender. So, in opposed to the generic budgeting, well, you need to make sure that you can understand what your necessities and your non-essential, your needs and your wants are, and using an app. You can introduce an app into this kind of scenario all you want. All five of these personalities, all you want. It is not going to stick on its own. Each individual personality has a pattern, a way of thinking, interacting, making decisions around money that you have to understand and decipher first. Let me give you an example. So as a spender, as an impulsive spender, I knew that I had triggers. So my triggers were if I was stressed out, if I had a bad day, or I just felt generally just like low, or if I was around certain people back in the day where, we were young, we were single, looking to attract women and stuff, I would impulsively spend to show off, number one, because I had the money there, or I would do it to make myself feel better. If I've been stressed at work, I'd go and buy myself a suit or whatever it might be. Those were my triggers. It wasn't until I understood what my triggers were that I could have interventions put in place to prevent me from spending impulsively. And some of those interventions looked like, okay, if I went to a Selfridges, for example, and I saw something really expensive in there, like a pair of Louboutins, I'd buy it if I had my card on me. So if I knew I was going to go to Selfridges or anywhere close to it, I wouldn't carry my cards. I'd have a little bit of cash maybe. You devise your own interventions. The problem is, across all of the five personalities that I've just mentioned, you need a little bit of assistance most of the time to help you understand, unearth, number one, what your triggers are and design those interventions. You can do it on your own. It just takes time. It took me years to understand this myself, right? So for this reader, I wouldn't have necessarily started with the budget first. Yes, the budget is important, but it's not the end all of be all. I would want to, number one, first know what her triggers are. That's the first thing I would need to know. What are your triggers? What makes you spend? The second thing is building some kind of structure around her personality, around her money habits. And this is where the system comes in, right? You build a system around your finances to match your personality. So for example, as an impulsive spender, right? You want to be able to treat yourself on a monthly basis, right? Because it makes you feel better. And that's particularly important if you're in a stressful job or in a high pressure job. So the idea isn't necessarily saying don't spend at all. It's allowing yourself to have a system within your finances that gives you the license to go and spend, but giving yourself limits and remits. That's the second thing that she needs. The third thing is just helping her basically just understand it and give it a name without any shame or any fear of I'm doing this wrong. You're not doing it wrong. You just don't have a system that sits behind the process. And honestly, for me, that has been the biggest realization and the biggest thing that has transformed my finances over the past 10 to 15 years. I used to be literally racked in debt, credit card debt, overdraft debt. I lost 10 years to this stuff. It wasn't until understanding my own personal drivers that I was able to break free, build systems that sit around that. And this is what we're doing in the community. And like, I want to invite you to I want to invite you to do two things, actually. The first in our community, which is launching at the end of April, we have those money personalities, the behavioral triggers at the heart of everything we do, right? So it's all about helping you make the best financial decisions. I want to invite you to join the waitlist. Join the waitlist. The link is down in the description. I also want to invite you to join a webinar, which I'm going to be running on April 26th, which is going to give an overview of those 5 personalities in a much broader sense and figure out how it might be impacting your finances and what you can actually do about it. I'm going to pin that in the comments and the description down below as well. Please go and register. If you've listened to anything and some of this is kind of rang true to you and you thought, actually, that makes sense. And actually, I can see something where, yeah, I am either an impulsive spender, I don't like looking at money, or I like to over analyze things. If you've recognized that, just do one of those 2 things, please. And I'd love to see you either in the group on the webinar on the 26th of April. But hopefully you found some value in this. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you did get value, please don't forget to smash the like button. It's a quick thing, takes a second or so, but it signals the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed it. And if you are just finding me for the first time, you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing as well. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.